What's going on? Kasa here with a video regarding my thoughts on patch 1.23 that released last night for Nioh 2. Before I begin, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, uh, and smash that like button, of course. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by February 7th, my birthday. Um, we're at 360 something at the moment. I, I'm pretty optimistic about the fact that I can get another 640 subs between now and February. I really feel like we can hit that number, but what I'm saying, the only way this works is if you guys help me out. So if you like the content, do me a favor, just subscribe to the channel. All the support is thoroughly appreciated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. So yeah, patch 1.23 dropped last night, and it has got the Neo 2 community split right down the middle. Um, you got half the folks basically like it ain't that serious, keep playing, and then you got the other half like, you know what, this is crap. I don't want to play Neo 2 no more. Personally, I'm still on the fence. The reason why I'm still on the fence is because I see it from both perspectives, and I also see it from a third, which is from the perspective of the developers. Um, as I mentioned earlier, one side is basically like just keep playing the game. You know what I'm saying? All games have patches, etc. All games come with nerfs, etc., etc. And I agree. It is, kind of like a part of patches and nerfs and buffs and things of that nature are pretty much the norm in the video game community. Not only in just Neo, but any genre of video games, from fighting to uh, shooters. Excuse me. Any genre of video game you think of, at some point or another, has some form of nerf, buff, patch, whatever, bug fixes, adjustments, quality of life things, and so on and so forth. Every game does it. And so, one of the great things about being a gamer is the ability to adapt to all these changes that are constantly happening on an everyday basis. Um, but then I also understand it from the other side of the fence, in the sense that, sometimes it's better to just leave things alone the way they are. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's one of those situations where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? But then I kind of see it where I also see what the developer is attempting to do. Um, and honestly, if you've been playing Neo 2 since the game came out, you should have known that Team Ninja was what you should have known Team Ninja's agenda back when they nerfed Tenjin, the Tenjin Kujaku, or whatever the name of the peacock is. Anybody who has been playing Neo 2 since the beginning was knows all about how super ridiculously powerful Tenjin was as a guardian spirit, in terms of the stance based Amrita absorption effect that it gave us. And in a patch, I think, in a patch leading up to the release of DLC 1 or 2, I can't remember, I can't quite remember which one. um the the effect got nerfed. Essentially, the guardian spirit got nerfed. It's still a good guardian spirit. It's just not as good as it was when the game first came out. And I feel like anyone who was who had the presence of mind, who had the wherewithal to read between the lines, at that point they should have known the agenda that Team Ninja was trying to push at that point. And they've made it pretty clear, what it is that they're trying to do with this game, with Neo 2, you know, as far as, as far as with every single patch leading up to 1.23 and any future patches that they decide to release with the PS5 remaster on the horizon coming out in a couple of weeks. If you haven't figured it out yet, honestly, and again, I get what the developer is trying to do. They are simply trying to eliminate the one build, one trick pony issue that occurred with the first Nioh game. If you remember Nioh, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, I'm sure at some point or another you played Nioh or you watched the video. It was all about living weapons. I mean, yes, there were a select few people who were able to play the game without spamming living weapons, but 99% of the people that you ran into in that game used the living weapon build. If you go to any file sharing site, be it Next Gen Update or Hack Informer, whatever site that shares files, game saves or game facts, whatever, 99 nine times out of 10, whatever Neo file you find in the description is going to mention living weapon build, OP as fuck, blah blah blah, living weapon, living weapon, living weapon. And so there was nothing wrong with living weapons, but for a game like Nioh that prides itself on the diversity of effects and guardian spirits and just different armors, different weapons and so on and so forth, you gotta take a moment and look at it from the developer standpoint and realize just how disappointing that is. Like, imagine being the developer, making this game, spending all this time making this game, for every single person who bought the game to only use one way to play the game. Exactly. Like it's so easy for us as consumers to forget that it's people who are making these games for us to consume in the first place. And so, as much as I would like to, be one way or the other about this latest patch, about any of the patches that they have released, personally, I just feel like folks need to embrace what it is that what it is that Team Ninja is trying to do with Neo 2. Like I said, I've been having a multitude of conversations with folks in Discord and in Facebook communities and so on and so forth, in Messenger, like just all day I've been on my phone having conversations with folks. I was in a party earlier, had a conversation with a couple folks in one of my Neo 2 communities, and it's either forget this game or shut up and just keep playing, and like I said, me personally, I'm on the fence because I see both sides of the coin, but I also feel like people need to take a moment and look at it from the developer standpoint in terms of what it was that they wanted to do with Neo 2, what it is that they are trying to do with Neo 2, and honestly, what this means for any future game that Team Ninja decides to make. Because I mean, let's face it, we don't have any Ninja Gaiden anything at the moment. This is as close to Ninja Gaiden as we have. You know what I'm saying? This is about as Ninja Gaiden as we could get. So, depending on how things play out with Neo 2 moving forward, you know, it can really truly dictate what Team Ninja decides to do with Ninja Gaiden. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know about you guys, but I would hate to think that us, you know, as a community making Neo 2 out to be worse than what it actually is be the reason we don't get a Ninja Gaiden. You know, I would hate to see that happen because I mean I've been patiently waiting for a Ninja Gaiden game since Sigma. I know people who have been waiting since Xbox Ninja Gaiden. You know what I'm saying? So, it would suck if Team Ninja was just like, you know what, folks want Ninja Gaiden, but I don't know because we gave them we gave them Neo too, and you know what I'm saying, we made it just as punishing, we made it super punishing, and you know and they were complaining. So I don't know if I want to go through the hassle of giving y'all another Ninja Gaiden game or not. I would hate for that to be the rhetoric, but I digress. Um, like I said, as far as the overall, as far as my opinion regarding Neo 2 patch 1.23 is concerned, um, I don't understand why they nerfed the protection talisman. I don't get why they nerfed the last Gambit pill. Um, as far as mechanics are concerned, I feel like they worked like they were supposed to. They weren't game breaking in any way. Uh, they didn't, it was a high risk as far as the protection talisman. Um, and I could confidently speak for the majority of the community. It barely worked anyway. So why they nerfed it, I don't understand. The last Gambit pill puts you and keeps you in critical state, which, as far as I'm concerned, is already a very high risk, high reward style of gameplay to begin with. Um, Again, that's split down the middle in terms of opinions. Some people are just like, it's not that big of a deal. Some folks are just like, you know what, just deal. Some folks are like, it's not that big of a deal, and then others are just like, why they always got to mess with it. I'm on the side of why they got to mess with it. It really didn't make no sense. So that's just me on as far as the last Gambit pill and stuff like that. What else is there besides those things that I mentioned earlier? Let's see. Hold on a second. She's kicking my ass, y'all. Hold on. Okay. It's hard to talk and focus on not dying at the same time. But anyway. But yeah, so I don't know. Um as far as, like I said, my opinion on patch 1.23 in general, I would be lying if I said that I didn't appreciate the fact that Team Ninja likes to stir the pot, personally speaking. And the reason why is, like I said before, because I feel like as a community, not just Neo, but just video games in general, I feel like the video gaming community has become so entitled. They want things their way and their way only, and their way doesn't and it doesn't matter who's affected by how they want their thing, how they want it. And the reality is that's just not how things work. Um, like I said before, I'm not trying to say that if you don't like it, don't play the game. All I'm simply saying is, if you don't, just try to embrace it for what it is. Just accept it for what it is. This is Neo 2. It's not Neo 1. Okay? They're not going to, every single any opportunity for us to use a build or use an exploit that made, that helped us along, they in some way, shape, form, or another have already nerfed it, and they're going to continue to nerf it. And the reason why they're going to continue to nerf it is not for the sake of frustrating the player base. It's literally because what they are trying to do is maintain variety. Once again, I said it earlier. Imagine being a video game developer. and spending years and years and years on making a video game, and not just making a video game, but creating a video game with this much variety. I mean, bro, like, let me see if I still have. Okay, so I don't have nothing on me right now, but let me pick all this crap up real quick. You know what I'm saying? And we could just look at, you know, and I'm not showing y'all stuff y'all don't already know. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or show y'all something y'all haven't seen yet. Like all this stuff you guys have seen at some point or another. But let's just take a moment, right? So, you know, look at all this equipment, all these different special effects on this equipment. And so it's like, imagine being a video game developer who took the time to add all these special effects, all this variety, and folks just want to use one or two pieces of equipment out of thousands of, one or two combinations of equipment out of millions of combinations. You know, it kind of cheapens the experience when it's just one or two kind of builds that work in the whole game. So once again, you know, looking at it from the developer standpoint, I could see why Team Ninja has made it a point to always constantly do what they have been doing since Tengen. Once again, guys, if you didn't see the writing on the wall back when Tengen got nerfed, you know, honestly, you deserve to walk around with this egg on your face. You deserve to be surprised. I'm not surprised that they nerfed the last Gambit pill. I'm just confused about the manner in which they nerfed it. I was expecting for it to be like a duration reduction, or because it's a 50% buff. If you have 200 dexterity, that buff lasts 3 minutes. Okay, 200 dexterity, 3 minutes of 50% power up. Now, I was expecting for them to nerf the duration or nerf the buff itself and reduce it from 50% to like what, maybe 45, 40%. I don't know. But the fact that your health gets lower and lower, um and it's a ninjutsu. So most times, most of the armor related to ninjutsu is all light armor. So you're not made to withstand multiple hits. You're not a tank. But you're not when you use a ninjutsu like that. If you're a ninjutsu heavy character like me, I'm all about ninjutsu. Your armor is not built to take a lot of hits. So that whole tankiness thing doesn't make sense for ninjutsu users. Um, with that being said, you know, I don't understand why they would make that part of the last Gambit pill where after every attack you get the notch that keeps you in locked critical state essentially goes down more and more the more you take hits. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, there are ways to circumvent it, through either save wizard or nutting up and just making a medium to heavy armor tank build. You know what I'm saying? There are ways to kind of circumvent it, or you can actually find uh light armor pieces with melee damage critical. You know what I'm saying? So there are ways to kind of help circumvent it because the reduction in life is based on the amount of damage you take. So if you're not taking that much damage, you're not gonna really notice that much of a difference. I mean, it'll be noticeable, depending on how long the fights take. And I will say that, with how much hit points and key these enemies have now in the depths, these fights can take a while, you know. But with all that being said, that's the only gripe I have with the patches. The fact that they did that to the last Gambit pill. Outside of that, I say it one more time. I don't want to sound like a broken record. If you weren't paying attention to what it was Team Ninja was trying to do back when they nerfed Tenjin, back when they said, we don't want y'all to just use one Guardian Spirit out of the 20 that we've put into this game. If you didn't see it back then, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, shame on you. Pay more attention. Like I said, I appreciate Team Ninja for this because once again, it forces us to use our imagination and really truly figure out what's the best way to tackle these new challenges. Now, am I a fan of the fact that folks who have invested hundreds, if not thousands of hours, you know, cultivating their builds and you know, doing everything perfectly with their builds or whatever the case is to have their build be completely useless after a patch? I'm not okay with that. I don't believe that that happened. I don't think that that's what happened. People are just, I feel like people are making it more. People are embellishing, for lack of a better word. I feel like people are embellishing in regards to how much more difficult it is now that the last Gambit Pill was nerfed. But I don't think it's that bad. Um, but once again, I can see why people are frustrated in that regard too. I don't want to discount or trivialize how they feel. Um, but it's not as it's not that bad. I'll say it's really not that bad. Um, with all that being said, you know, like I said before, I do appreciate what Team Ninja is trying to do in terms of keeping things in terms of keeping variety in their game. Um, but I don't agree with a patch literally decimating someone's build. If that has happened to you after this patch, I'm really sorry that it happened that way. Um, but personally speaking, I don't think that that's actually what happened. But whatever, that we you anybody who feels differently can hop in the comments and tell me how they feel. It's totally okay. I love a good debate, but yeah, like I said, if we're gonna talk about you know expectations versus reality, as far as Team Ninja and this latest patch and so on and so forth is concerned, I mean, like I said, Tenjin should have been the wake up call for everybody. At that point, when they nerfed Tenjin, you know, you should have made a decision whether or not, um, because that should have been the red flag. Like, okay, they not gonna do us like they did Nioh 1, where they just let us rock out with living weapons from start to finish and destroy all content with a living weapon. They not doing that this time around. You know what I'm saying? They weren't doing that this time around, and I'm glad because it was ridiculous. Like I said, you go to any save file sharing website and look for a Nioh save, and guaranteed you're gonna find 9 times out of 10 you're gonna find a save that has living weapon, OP build, living weapon. And like I said, from a video game developer's viewpoint, I would be pissed if I was a game developer and all that variety and shit that I put into a video game, and the only thing everybody's using is one thing. That I get it. But with all that being said, if you all got any questions, comments, concerns, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on all this because you know it's got everybody talking. Everybody's in this joint rapping about it, and so it just it makes for good conversation. It really does. If not for nothing else, I love when video game developers throw patches out like this because it just throws everybody in the uproar and everybody's like, oh my god, what the fuck, and I just enjoy all the conversation. I enjoy the back and forth. I enjoy the debates. I enjoy listening to people's opinions, not because I enjoy people's frustration at what's going on. I just like when you know it seems like something like Nioh 2 is kind of like fading to black a little bit, and then boom, patch, and everybody's just like, wait a minute. I like that. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, comments, or concerns, y'all already know what to do. With all this being said, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful evening. I'm about to go to sleep. Well, actually, I'm about to run through this a couple more times tonight. Then I'm gonna go to sleep. You guys have yourselves a wonderful night. Casa out.